joining us now to weigh in. He's the president of Judicial Watch and the author of the book, Rights and Freedoms in Peril. Tom Fitton back on the program. Tom, what in the Sam heck is going on? There's no files? There is files? We can't release them? You can't release nothing? What's going on?
Well, they're not listening to me, which I've been doing is, Judicial Watch has been doing is literally through court encouraging transparency. We sued not only for the victims' files, but prior to that, we have a lawsuit for all the Epstein records. And what was really strange, Dan, is that they were leaking this memo that says no Americans are going to get any more information about Epstein. The next day, they're at the court telling the court in our case that they're still reviewing and searching for DOJ and FBI records about Epstein. And my solution is pretty simple. Release the records through this FOIA lawsuit that Judicial Watch has. Why? Because that process guarantees accountability for the records that are being released and explanations for the records that are being withheld. And so the American people will have an idea how many records there are, what's being withheld, if any, and why. Where do they search for the records? That typically comes out through a FOIA lawsuit.
Right.
Just proceed normally. Don't send out any more weird memos, talking about evidence that no one is allowed to see.
Yeah, talk about that memo, Tom, because first it was leaked, but then they backed it up, and then was it fully released with the backing of both departments? Or how did that memo even get out, and how they handled it last week was very odd. And what I'm wondering, and again, let me pontificate here, and I trust my president, so I'm not going against President Trump, but I do have questions about what's happening within the DOJ and under Pam's control, and what's happening at the FBI with Kash and Dan. So here's my question. She was on Fox a lot for the last several months talking about the Epstein files, right? We had that botched release of a list that wasn't a list with all the social media influencers when they gave them the famous now binders, right, Tom? And so is it you built all this up and then there wasn't a lot of meat there to release, so you leaked the memo because previous administrations and previous corrupt FBI hierarchy and DOJ hierarchy got rid of the files? Because this is my thinking, Tom. This guy's been in the news since 2007 when they had him dead to rights down in Florida, and all of a sudden there was some deal struck and Jeffrey got off with probation and an ankle monitor or whatever back in 2007. And ever since then, administration after administration has covered for him. So how much evidence could be at the FBI and DOJ when you've had corrupt regimes run this country the last how many years that have covered for him? And yes, I'm including George W. Bush, because he was in charge in 2007 when they got Jeffrey off. And that was a United States attorney that went into the courtroom and got him off that deal.
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They released this memo. They leaked it to Axios, a liberal publication.
Right.
No signature, no date.
Are they doing this on purpose? Because they got the Democrats clamoring. You saw the vote to release the Epstein files. We've never seen Democrats say that. And now it was 210, 211. I mean, is this, because there's a lot of folks online saying this, is this some big 3D chess move Trump's playing? I don't know. I don't know what in the heck is going on.
Well, I don't play chess. I just smash stone walls, right? And that's what we're trying to do is just get the truth out.
Me too. Me too.
And my guess is what I'm hearing are standard reasons for not releasing records from the anti-transparency deep state. They don't like transparency. The Justice Department, I've joked the resting state of the deep state is secrecy. So there's all sorts of excuses not to release information, some of which can be persuasive in certain circumstances. And, and I agree with Speaker Johnson, let the chips fall where they may, release as much as you're able to under law. There may be something technically they're unable to release, and that can be explained publicly and to the court. But there's really no good reason to hide this information from the American people. And as the Democrats are showing with that vote today, they see a political opportunity. But my guess is there are a lot of Democrats and Republicans and people who are neither Democrat or Republicans who don't like this Epstein matter and don't like government secrecy on it. And I think the FBI and the Justice Department made a terrible mistake with this memo and the positioning of the Trump administration as being opposed to full transparency on this. Now President Trump, who's a very smart man, he just announced that, Pam's going to start releasing records and she'll release what's appropriate, and I trust her to do it, which is a signal that maybe that there's going to be a change and they're going to start releasing the information as the law requires. We're in federal court over it right now.
Yeah. You're suing them for it. Case in point. So first, let me put this one headline up because Laura Trump was on with Benny Johnson, I think yesterday or the day before, and she says that she believes, talking with her father-in-law and others in the administration, that there will be more documents released soon. And then I believe this is from the tarmac when President Trump was flying to Pittsburgh earlier today. A reporter asked him about Pam and the files, and here you go.
I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
Okay, so whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. So there is stuff to release, even though last week with the leaked weird memo, there isn't anything else to release. Again, that's the freaking confusion. So we're going to see more stuff, I guess?
Well, they're going to have to either release more material under law or tell the court why they're withholding everything. And I don't think withholding everything is going to fly. And, there may be names there. I think President Trump is sensitive about it because he's been through this before where, his name is associated with something, and it's just guilt by association. But the American people will see through that.
Well, and Virginia Giuffre and others stood up for him. She even said, I never saw Trump there. He didn't go to the island. He didn't do anything wrong with girls. And the flight log was like one flight down and back to Florida with the family because his jet was broken. Like for years, everybody has said Trump had nothing to do with him, even though years ago he said nice stuff because of their business deals. He wasn't doing those kind of deals with young girls. Matter of fact, he banned him from Mar-a-Lago when he found out that he was flirting with young girls and messing with some of the staff. So I'm not worried about him. Yeah. I just want the damn information because the American people deserve it. I think the victims deserve it. And everybody needs to know who was involved with this scumbag. Tom, I'm out of time. Thank you so much. Let us know how that lawsuit goes.
Well, we will. Thank you.
Yep. Appreciate you.